And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho, and this is SNN. We're actually broadcasting live today from the banks of the River Styx. So we figured we'd stop by Stygia real quick to make for some interesting content around Halloween. We hope you enjoy it, and we apologize that Smash News Network has started on fire. We will get that taken care of shortly. Looking at the sun here from our alternate plane of existence. Here from the banks of the River Styx, looking at 94 angstroms, and we see a B-class solar flare there down in the lower right corner, around where my pointer is. I froze it on the moment of that B-class solar flare. It happened just before 9 o'clock Universal Time. That's 9 p.m. Universal Time, 2100 hours yesterday evening. Here's the animated view in 94 angstroms. 94 angstroms is one of the more interesting wavelengths. Can we turn up the lighting here? I think it's a little creepy down here in Stygia. There we go. That's better. All right. I haven't seen Charon, the boatman of the River Styx, lately, or Cerberus. Leave us a comment if you have. All right, let's move on to more stuff here before something creepy happens. Going to do some custom HelioViewer movies. First, we've got the North Polar region, an active region there. You see a little bit of prominence is happening in that coronal hole, kind of right in the Earth-facing zone right now. Great view of the North Polar region. Here's the South Polar region. Oh, we see some crown prominences down there. Another indication of the sun ramping up its activity, yes. You see right about here, you see a crown prominence happening there. It's minor, but we didn't really see that happening around solar minimum. And while activity is still overall pretty low, it's worth noting. Now, we did see a sunspot while doing show prep, which is this active region right here. There were some umbrae associated with that. Whether or not it gets named, who knows? They've got to be in place more than 12 hours to get a name. And we've included the Earth scale on that also. And now let's take an extreme close-up of sunspot 2776. I apologize for having the Earth scale right over the sunspot there. That's just a weird glitch that happens sometimes in HelioViewer.org. I don't know exactly why that is. I had the Earth placed way out here, but for some reason it showed up there on the animation. Rather than do it over again, I just started the video because we ain't got all day. There's stuff to do, and we hope you're enjoying your Sunday. Next, looking at the radio flux to see that it's still at 72 solar flux units, thanks to our new viewers and subscribers, etc. That is another sort of a proportional measurement of solar activity based on its radio output of its outer corona. It follows very closely with sunspot number. KP index down to 3, coming off of a period of 15 hours of geomagnetic unrest late 2 days ago. And there you can see that B-class flare. And it says it's at about 2040, actually. Now wait. Anyway, I'm not going to zoom in on it. You get the idea. Small solar flare. It came out of sunspot 2776. We don't see any major proton strikes on the magnetosphere. Let's look at the real-time solar wind. Actually, let's check the life of the stream first. As you never know what'll happen when you're broadcasting from Stygia. This is SNN. Let us know if you see Cerberus or Charon, the boatman of the River Styx, or anything like that going on. We'll be more than interested in that. So the real-time solar wind, we see the phi angle just shifted as I did show prep. And it's still in the process of shifting. It looks like solar wind density currently at about 7.5 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed still elevated significantly at 548 kilometers per second, having reached a high of about nearly 600 kilometers per second there. You see the scale expanded to 600 to contain the solar wind stream. We have seen it ramp down off of those highs. And we may see this continue on for another solid day here, as there was a lot of coronal hole space. I just wanted to make a quick note here about the geospace magnetosphere movies. We're able to tell what the density is just by simply looking at this pane. And this is sort of useful if you sort of understand the magnetohydrodynamics of protons striking the magnetosphere. And anyway, we're not going to show you an animation of that, though. Here's the pressure. And the left view would be like looking down on the planet. The right view would be like looking at the planet from the side, I guess you could say, from the ecliptic plane, I suppose. And here you can see some multiple layers forming there associated with that high pressure. This is the plasmasphere right here, and the smaller one there associated with the magnetotail, as that is where the electrons hang out and constrain the plasma to those areas. Please leave a comment if you have theories as to where all of those electrons come from. It's sort of important in geophysics, cosmology, etc. Next, looking at ground magnetic perturbations here. There's what's going on at the polar regions. This is measuring changes in the Earth's B field measured in nanotesla. And here's the same data set from a different view, the global view. We see some magnetic pulses coming out of the Pacific Ocean near Hawaii, as well as indications of the North Pole over Siberia, the North Pole over northern Canada, and the South Pole having crept into the southern Indian Ocean. The GOES magnetometer has been returning some very low readings here. Low highs and low lows over the past 24 here. And that's probably a result and an indication that the plasma stream in between the Earth and the Sun is still significant. Otherwise, we'd see a bigger fluctuation between midnight and noontime at the GOES 16. By the way, it's measuring that near the F2 ionosphere layer. Here is a view of the heliospheric current sheet. Magnetically speaking, it's part of the National Sunspot Observatory. It's the top view ecliptic plane field plot. We've got another piece of Gong 2 data from a different view once again. And there is a massive plasma plume. Let me just explain this here. There's a massive plasma plume right now, and we can see this from stereo A. It could release, it could not release, and part of it does depend on that sunspot in the southern hemisphere. Whether or not that becomes a stronger sunspot or not will affect all of this. And the South Pole current sheet shown here in red is going to take its good old time showing up as a result of that. It's just sort of the way that magnetohydrodynamics works. Keep in mind the data is nearly 2 hours old here and can change suddenly. And this one shows the B field also. It's the line of sight field plot. The B field is shown here in blue. And you can see the poloidal fields north in green, south in red. Nothing too exciting going on there. Here is a potential field force line plot of the corona. Just the solar corona by itself, hopefully. It shows you open potential field force lines in black, closed potential field force lines in pink, and coronal hole potential field force lines in purple. Everything's fairly stable there. No major changes happening. And welcome to another edition of the SMASHlights, the portion of the show where we talk about whatever we want here at the Smash News Network. By the way, thanks for leaving comments. Mr. Boris 12132 wants to know if I want to become famous. He wants to know if I want to purchase followers. The answer is a big heapin' helpin' of no on that. I don't purchase views or followers or anything like that. I find that to be fraudulent and a scam. So, no. I don't want to become famous. I want to become rich. As fame is a liability and cash is an asset. Electrons from Deneb. You got to stop spelling Deneb wrong, Be Stoic. It's Deneb, not Denab. Don't be unab and spell it incorrectly. This is Twitch. And gamers don't take kindly to people not knowing what they're doing. All right, and let's get back to the Smashlight segment here. A standard issue aspect of the Smash News Network. Today we're going to talk about whatever we want, like Stygia. So we're broadcasting from Stygia today at the banks of the River Styx, which has caused the Smash News Network to start on fire, as you can see here. And one of the inhabitants of Stygia is the three-headed giant dog Cerberus. So when you die in the Greek pantheon, the reason you're buried with a gold coin is because you've got to provide that gold coin to Charon, the boatman of the River Styx, who then ferries you down the River Styx and through the gates of Hades, which Cerberus, the three-headed dog, guards. He's like 8 feet tall at the shoulder, and you really don't want to screw with Cerberus. He's sort of the guard dog of the gates of Hades. So don't screw with Cerberus, and this has to do with why people get buried with pennies on their eyes and so on. We won't get into it. So if you see Cerberus, give him a pet for me, and don't try to enter or exit the gates of Hades without permission, because Cerberus will make a bad day for you. Today, the COVID, we're not going to really talk about the COVID because it's statistically irrelevant. By the way, we are streaming live to Twitch for you people that are viewing in syndication here. Thanks for tuning in. In any case, check us out on twitch.tv/smashamash if you want to see the videos that come out live. If you enjoy the content, press like and subscribe on YouTube as well. Don't forget to check us out on BitChute and other social media. Visit our links below our video. Support the channel. And don't forget to watch yesterday's video featuring Eugene Bagashov, Terms Defined, featuring guest host Eugene Bagashov, Science, Blasphemy, Belarus, Politics. We talked about all kinds of stuff. Here's a clip.
I thought you were going to say Joe Biden. I was like, what?
No.
I thought you were going to say Joe Biden.
So, yeah, check out what we were talking about there. I won't tell you because you've got to watch the video. Again, bitchute.com/smashomash. And don't forget to branch out into alt tech, folks. We are on Minds as well, and there are a bunch of different links to other social medias. So don't forget to check out minds.com. It could be the future of social media, perhaps an alternative to Facebook. We would like to see hundreds of millions of active users on there instead of only hundreds of thousands. But minds.com perhaps is one of the answers to the ridiculous censorship, overreach of big tech, and unintended reach-arounds. By the way, you may be interested in our Andrew Cuomo meme about elder abuse, as Andrew Cuomo is one of the worst human beings in the whole world. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Smashlights, a standard issue segment here at the Smash News Network. Even when we don't broadcast from the banks of the River Styx, we typically make a Smashlight segment. This one will be available both in the full daily space weather video and as a separate video in the Smashlights playlist. You can see all the playlists at smashomash.com/ You can see the YouTube link at smashomash.com. And if you want to go to the playlists, there are a bunch of different playlists, and look for more coming soon. youtube.com/smashomash/playlists. Let's talk about electrons. Are they coming from Deneb? No, they're probably not coming from Deneb. Here's the 1-year chart of the electron flux as measured in the Van Allen belt. Around the ionosphere layer is actually where the GOES 16 measures these. Here is the charging hazard situation. We see some minor charging hazards there. And NOAA is forecasting a big precipitous uptick, moving us well into warning levels here for electron flux. So expect higher levels of GPS errors and satellite drag in the next, I'll say in the next 36 hours. And it looks like they're forecasting it here pretty close to me. My forecast was slightly more accurate than NOAA's yesterday. And we just tinkered with warning levels here for a significant period of time. Actually, very high levels there for midnight, as measured at the GOES 16. Here's a visualization of the total air column. This is showing you the estimated electron content all the way from the thermosphere down to your GPS handset. And we've seen a bit of a relaxation of the significant electron anomalies over the North American continent. We covered the last, 4 days, had much more significant electron flux anomalies, probably making for some significant GPS errors. And one way to get rid of your GPS errors, folks, is to use Wi-Fi accuracy, as then your handset can use the locations of IP addresses to determine where you are. And of course, turn that off when you're not using your GPS, as it is spyware as well. Next, looking at the ionosphere layer, just one layer of the atmosphere. And it's looking pretty normal here. Nothing too exciting to write home about or to freak out about or to tell you, oh noes, OMG, we're all going to die, we're all going to die. I know it's a common theme on YouTube channels lately, but sorry folks, the world is still not ending. The food supply is still not gone, and society itself is not about to completely collapse and turn into a Mad Max situation. If you're up before dawn, you may see Venus, my favorite planet, and the third brightest object in the sky. Now, I'm an Aries, but I don't really care because my preferences have nothing to do with astrology. I like to face my star chart to the south because I'm currently facing to the south, and so is my couch. I've drawn on the ecliptic. And, yeah, there's what's going on. Nice. in-the-sky.org is what I use to know when Cygnus will set. Where were you when Deneb set? Next, looking at the solar system. There's where stuff is now. And you can see this straight line from the Sun through Mercury, the Earth-Moon system, Mars, and out to Uranus. Don't have your head up Uranus, because you should realize that straight lines, just like triangles, circles, squares, rhombus, parallelograms, dodecahedrons, and tetrahedrons, are very scary if seen in space. So be afraid, be very afraid of the solar system. It's very spooky and scary. Not as spooky and scary as you, COVID. COVID's becoming very self-conscious. I think it might be weakening. I don't know. Looking at earthquakes here. Actually, first I'm going to be looking at the life of the stream and the chat. Thanks again for everybody leaving comments. And have you seen anything weird going on at the River Styx? I don't know. I thought it was usually water. It's appearing like lava today. It's starting to freak me out. Anyway, here's the current situation of earthquakes. We don't see any 6+ magnitudes, which is typically what we report on. There have been a bunch of earthquakes at Hawaii, some of them at extreme depth. And when I say extreme depth, I mean directly under the Kilauea caldera and occurring at a depth of 100 meters above sea level, indicating magmatic earthquakes happening on Hawaii. Some deep quakes, such as this 4.7 at Peru. It's at 163 kilometers. Otherwise, pretty much a lull in earthquake activity and a lull at global warming, climate change, snow, etc. We'll get to it. Here's a volcanodiscovery.com rundown. Suwanosejima is erupting. It's producing a 6,000-foot ash plume. Langila, now on the list, is exploding. Similar-sized ash plume there. Semaru exploding. Flight level 130. It's a 13,000-foot ash plume. Popocatépetl dissipated its ash. Revenador is producing a 15,000-foot ash plume as it explodes. And Sabancaya, steady as it blows. It's producing a 24,000-foot above sea level plume of ash. Please do not attempt to fly your John Denver-style ultralight home-built aircraft over the caldera. You will experience pressure gradients that could be unfortunate for your health, as well as bad engine performance. Check out the weather.gov map. We've got massive winter storm warnings over the Central Rockies and so on. It's pretty snowy. We'll look at the jet streams before we talk about snow a little bit more. There are the jet streams of the eastern world, and look at this convergence over here. Very powerful system there. Extreme bends where it's going due south and due north in a matter of only a few hundred miles. Here are the jet streams of the western world, and you can see cold air still being injected from Canada into the northwest of the U.S. Also some extreme meridional jet stream flow over the central Atlantic. Leave us a comment if you're flying a plane across there. If you're flying in a plane across there. Here's the Euro snow forecast. There's how much snow we're expecting by 1 p.m. my time. And it looks like there's going to be snow all the way down in the Texas stovepipe. Amarillo is being forecasted to have nearly 2 inches of snow. How do you like them apples? That is not your average October 27th, is it? By the way, if you're worried about all the ice and snow on the planet melting, look at the snow mass balance right now. It's 2 standard deviations above normal, where it was for the winter of 2017 to 2018, and the winter of 2018 to 2019, and the winter of 2019 to 2020, and, well, we're getting an early winter once again this year. Apparently the planet is so hot that it's cold. By the way, snow is a positive feedback mechanism associated with the Earth's albedo, which causes the planet to get colder and colder because it reflects more light back into space. Man, this is a weird place down here. It's very dark and creepy. And where are all the souls? Shouldn't there be souls? Like, traveling on the... I mean, aren't there a whole bunch of COVID deaths? That is... Maybe Charon's on break. I don't know what's going on. It's pretty freaking weird. Check out the snow extent, too. Here's the Rutgers. Boy, oh boy, the northern hemisphere. Look at how melted it is. Oh my God, it's totally melting. It's only October 25th, folks. By the way, if you don't follow us on Twitter, you may want to. You'll see posts like this. At Joe Biden calls hashtag climate change the #1 issue facing humanity and has no idea what he's talking about. Come on, man. Here's the deal. He's an ignoramus. This winter has already begun, and we're seeing historically high snow mass balance. Twitter.com/smAsho. Let's look at lightning. And we see quite a bit here over the South Atlantic, Caribbean, Mexico, etc. Here's the lightning mapper. And once again, extreme lightning there north of Cuba. If you're down there in the Bahamas, get out and take a look toward where these storms are happening. You may see some sprites, elves, spaceships, demonic entities, floating beings, who knows what. Who knows? You may see a Sasquatch plummet into the Caribbean Sea. Check out the snow falling in the north central U.S. I kind of wish I was there, as I am a skilled snowboarder. Here's what's going on in the cloud layer. Even though it's dark, we show you anyway using the shortwave radiation map. Because water emits radiation, folks. Did you know? Here's a water vapor map. And we'll zoom in on central Colorado today for your weather pornography, as we have a thin, narrow band of dry air there, separating some moister areas. It's an atmospheric pond. See, it's an atmospheric pond, folks. Anyway, that should give you some idea of the way those systems are moving, as the Doppler radar often paints an incomplete picture. Thanks to our patrons, the real source of funding for the content. I think that's too fast of a scroll. Thanks to our patrons, the real source of funding for the content. Please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/smAshomash. The tiers will be changing by the end of the year. So by New Year's Eve, we'll be announcing the new tiers and so on. Patreon.com/smAshomash. We've currently got 9 tiers for your convenience. We're going to reduce the lowest 2 tiers of $1 and $2 per month, as it is not worth it for us to post anything for those amounts. Thanks to the Smash team. It's time for me to vanish. And thank you for tuning in. Please share on your social media. By the way, tomorrow is the final day to enter the contest to win this shirt. All you got to do is post on the forums, sign me up, and we've got this contest pinned to every forum. SMASHOMASH.com/forum. You can link to it from the website, which is listed on the shirt. SMASHOMASH.org. It's about Deneb. If you want to read all about it, it's in the Cosmology Forum. You can click on it right there at the SMASho forum. Head to SMASHOMASH.org, which will redirect you here to SMASHOMASH.com. Today's featured product is the Smash Team shirt. Thanks again, Smash Team. Don't forget to wear blaze orange if you're out there rifle hunting. Tell your friends and foes, science noobs and science pros, that we'd like to thank you for flying American Smashways here at the Smash News Network. Finally, broadcasting from the banks of the river Styx. By the way, breaking news! The breaking news is that there's no new news, which apparently is breaking news in itself. Please keep your head and arms inside the Smash plane, as we've got a bonus of features. We're going to show you the colorized magnetogram, which I'm just refreshing right now to show you the most current data that we can possibly get to you. Here is this sunspot, and it indeed looks like a sunspot from the magnetogram. There's 2776 as it sets. So there's a view of 2776 in ultra high res. And here's this region. It's already beta class. Check it out. It's actually gained a little bit of complexity here as we did the video. This is South Pole. This is North Pole. It's a beta class sunspot, and if it remains a sunspot for 7 hours and for 12 hours and has umbre, it will get named. Here's the 131 angstroms view. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, attempt to understand the physics, view our other videos. And since it'll never be now again, may that solar wind be at your back. That covidiously absent from your doorstep. And those demonic entities in Stygia absent from your dinner table. This is SNN.